Welcome, everybody, to the show with Mike and Big Easus. How are you, E?
Great, Mike.
You doing all right?
Another great day.
Yeah. I'm sucking on the halls.
I know.
I'll try to eat it fast. I probably should have chewed it up before we started.
I had an idiot moment today, not on my end, but I was out. I'm doing some proof sitting.
Okay.
Not like overnight stuff. There's one dog.
Cat?
Dog. Maxie. There's this friend I do. She does dog sitting for like her whole job, but sometimes if she can't get out to this place by Milford, she'll have me like, hey, can you run out there and just do it? And she throws me some money. So it's cool. He's a great dude. Anyway, I took him on a walk today because it's actually nice. Usually I just take him in the backyard, let him do his business. But I thought, it's so nice out, Max. We're going to go on a walk.
All right.
We're going to walk. This old
Max
man.
loves going for a walk.
He does.
Absolutely
Maximilian.
loves it.
Yeah. So
I thought it was Maxi Pad, but
or that Maxie,
yeah.
I think I saw on Facebook someone says like every dog's name starts with their name and then 10, it's like 10 nicknames that are adaptations of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's never pets are just like that. Like Tony, Tone Balone, Big Tone, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, dude, I'm walking outside, mind you, on the streets of Milford, Michigan. And this grandpa with his granddaughter's walking by, and he sees me with the dog, and I'm not wearing my mask, Mike. And
Outside?
Who cares? And he starts frantically putting his mask on
Ooh.
to walk by me outside.
Ooh.
I
would have coughed in his royal direction.
I should have, or something. The old me would have.
No.
I wonder how 21-year-old E would have handled the pandemic. Probably a little differently.
Well.
A little differently.
Probably a lot different.
But like, dude, I'm not trying to get down that line, but I'm just walking. I'm like, what are you doing? And it's not he sees me. He's like, puts it on. I'm like,
don't you want to just go, sir? Where are you getting your news from?
I know.
I just want to stop him and ask him where he's getting his news from.
We're outside, sir.
Yeah.
And we're not. The thing is, I've said it on the show, like, I'm at the point even now, when I think about the past, us, someone walking around Meijer just hacking up a lung, we're like, yep, that's fine. I wouldn't be too upset if someone said, you know what, I still need to go shopping, but man, I don't want to be an asshole just spilling my germs on everything. So, you know what, I could see some level of mask wearing in the future if you think, you know what, I'm just saying, for if you want in the flu season or something.
No,
I'm saying, but I could see it. I'm fine with that, but outside, sir. We are outside. We're not having
ridiculous.
We're not having a conversation. I didn't pull him in and said, "Hey, can you believe this, Donald Trump or whatever?"
Yeah.
Like, no, we're walking by each other, and he didn't have it on before, so he had it in his pocket and had to.
Yeah, I dealt with that in California where I'd go on like hiking trails, and just looking at the ocean or the bridge or something, and be walking on trails, and people would put their mask on. But it was so early at the time. It was before it was like, yeah, if you're outside, you got nothing to worry about. Literally nothing to worry about.
When I was at the Kennedys last year, we don't have to go down this too much. But when I was at the Kennedys last year, and I got stuck there for 3 months, and I was in my
stuck there. That was the greatest 3 months of your life.
Oh, it had good and bad parts, unfortunately. But possibly the best month and worst month of my entire life. Yeah. But anyway, I would go on walks in their neighborhood, and I wasn't wearing masks at that point, but I would go on walks, and like I would if someone was walking my way, I'd walk over to the other side of the road.
Yeah, I was doing some of that too, because I was going on walks at night.
Yeah,
I want to be seen by no one, so I would walk around the neighborhood. But there were other people out at midnight.
Yeah.
Walking around, and they'd be wearing masks. I'm like, dude.
I did it then, though. Like I said, like I would walk across.
I'd go. Yeah, I would do that too. Like I'd see him 2 blocks away and be like, all right, let's just go over here.
But
no big deal.
What we're doing now, dude. You're right. If he hadn't had his granddaughter with him, honest to God, I might have been like, dude, I'm not trying to be a jerk. Like, do you want me to run down my list? Like, I've got the shot, and I wore my mask, and I didn't go to bars for a year. What are you doing, sir? Yeah. We're outside. We're just
none
passing
of anyone's
by.
business.
Yeah, I know. Anyway,
but people still doing it. People alone in their cars. Like
I do still see it.
Oh yeah,
I do still see it.
Oh, for sure.
I did. You know what though? I will tell you this. In the heart of it, when I was like really paranoid, I would wear it in my car, and the reasoning was I was doing different like chores and things, and my thought was if I'm taking it on and off, now I'm touching my face.
Yeah.
So I did it for about 2 weeks. I did wear it in my car, but that was very short lived. And I shouldn't have been doing it, but I'm just saying very short lived. And when you think about someone doing it now, I'm not trying to be a dick, but that's just a sign that you're not listening to anything.
Yeah.
Like, if you're doing it now, there was like I said, if you wanted to go late March, early April of last year, okay, maybe
Yeah,
you didn't
it's
know.
unknown.
But now, almost 2 years.
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
And I don't care. I'm like so susceptible to something like COVID. COVID would have a good chance of killing me.
Oh,
and
and
I'm
have
okay
a
with
fighting
that.
chance. I'd take those odds. I'd
Yeah,
bet,
I
I'd
would
bet on
bet.
FanDuel.
I'd bet on COVID. I
Yes.
would bet on COVID over me. 100%. I would.
Yeah,
I don't care. I'd rather die of COVID than it just doesn't bother me.
I get that.
If I die of COVID,
Well,
great.
You're talking
great.
about a person who regularly says he doesn't,
Yeah,
care.
I don't care.
So you're
I don't give a shit.
a different. I like living quite a bit.
No, I look
So-
at like the Wakasa, like the guy that ran over a bunch of grannies
Yeah,
and kids,
yeah.
and I'm like, fuck, why couldn't I have been
Why
there?
not me?
God damn it. You wouldn't even know what hit you.
You say enough stuff. You give your address out and keep talking. You might get someone over here.
Shoot me?
Yeah.
I'd be all right with that. Be fine. I'd talk shit to someone with a gun in my face. Be
Yeah.
like, I don't think you have the balls, dude.
Right.
Go ahead. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. So COVID doesn't worry me. Wearing a mask is that uncomfortable to me.
Yeah, I
like
get it.
it's so much more uncomfortable. I just don't give a shit.
I never
I
had
did what
to-
I was supposed to do, mostly to shut people the fuck up, and I've done my part.
I never had to do it for 8 hours a day. So my point is, I used to, when I was on my kind of tantrums about just do it and this and that.
Yeah.
I never had to do it like some guy, like people have had to do it, like my God, at the work. I don't know how people did it, like, convenience stores and whatnot. Though that must have been people working in the line at like oh my Lord.
Yeah.
Amazon shit anyway, that must have been rough. So I get it.
Yeah. Anyway, it's not going to end anytime soon.
I don't think it's ever gonna
The
end.
power they've gotten from this. I mean,
Well, what's so-
seeing the queue in people's phone in California, because I'm supposed to go out there for Christmas. They have like a QR code that proves you've been vaccinated to go anywhere.
So, by the way,
it's a shit show, man.
I mean, I'm going to be there for a week too myself. I wonder
oh
what
yeah,
it's going
you
to be
better
like.
have your vaccine card everywhere you go.
Can you not, honestly, God, can you not, if you don't have it, can you not like just basically go into anything?
No,
Is that
you
the
can't
deal?
go into a bar, or restaurant.
What about hotels? Can you rent a
Um,
hotel room?
I don't know.
Asking for a friend.
yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
but you've been vaccinated. You've got
I
a
have.
card.
I have some people that might not, so I was just curious.
Yeah,
but I'll have to
no,
look into it.
good
I
luck.
guess. I'm.
I don't know how Hawaii is either. Hawaii might be a shit show too.
Right.
California,
No, Hawaii is. And I already told them that. I'm like, dude, you can't. Like, I'm like,
It's not like here. E.
like I know, and I
know?
said that we can't go into places, Airbnb and just do hikes, I guess. But I mean, you can't go. But you have to get a test for sure to fly there, for sure. But you can't go.
Hawaii?
But you can't go into any bars or restaurants or anything without it.
Really?
No.
Without a.
No.
Yeah. Which is whatever. I
Hawaii's
guess.
a little
Hawaii-
different. I
Hawaii's
always
a little
thought
different.
because
Alaska's
they're
a
on
little
their own, and I understand that. Like I understand what they've always been before even COVID. If you talk to people like about bringing like things on, they've always been strict. So the island I can get a little more, I
Yeah.
guess. California, no, I can't.
No,
I can't.
California's just absurd. They're just power hungry, and that's the way it is.
And
But
those people
my
that are
sister will
doing
call me
that-
and be like, "Wait a minute, you go into the grocery store and you're not wearing a mask?" I'm like, "Yeah,
Yeah,
totally."
right.
She's like, "Wow!" Like they have no concept of
I went to
like that level of freedom. Like, yeah, dude, do you? I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
the problem with the mask too is that we don't have to go down that path. But
Yeah.
with California, the thing when you say that is like, dude, again, it'd be one thing to me. Like me, I think I'm not trying to be self-involved, but I think I'm a great example. I wish people could because I was someone who did care, and I still do. Like even when I went to the Rolling Stones, I wasn't 100% just like, yep, no worries whatsoever. Even though I've been vaccinated, I still was kind of like, I went,
Yeah.
I didn't wear a mask, but I was still kind of like, I don't know, I don't
you
want to
took
get
that
it. and-
risk. You made that call. That's okay.
But my
no
point-
one forced you to go. No one forced anyone else to go.
Right. But my point
So
is,
go, have
it was
fun, or
on
don't.
my mind on some level. So for people that are like so nutso about it, it was on
Yeah.
my mind. It wasn't like I just was throwing caution. Like I literally didn't give a fuck. I was still like my mom was like, oh. and I'm
Yeah,
like,
me and Tooch and T Roy went to. There was a special Doors like 1969 concert movie, and Tooch had been watching all these documentaries on the Doors
Yeah,
recently.
yeah.
And so he bought tickets for it, and we all went. And I'll be honest with you, like going into a theater, I hated going to the theater before.
Yeah.
Like I like being able to pause it and go take a whiz.
Right.
Or get some popcorn or back something up if you didn't understand it, or not have to deal with seating issues or people talking.
Yeah, look, I will
like
say this.
all that stuff bothered me
Yeah.
in the first place. So going to this, I'm like, oh God. And it's kind of a small theater, and you're sitting there, and there's just other people.
All of a sudden, you're aware that people are just breathing on you. Strangers are
Yeah.
just breathing on you,
and it's
stuff.
like, wow, this is kind of weird. I mean, I didn't really care that much. But
No, and that's what I said. And so I wish that people could listen to, like I said, not to be egotistical about it, but listen to someone like me who did care, who was at an extreme level,
Yeah.
and is able to now, do different things here and there, still try to be a little safe,
Navigate
but navigate it. And it's like, no, there are people that are 100% brainwashed that and they will probably wear these masks, and they'll get every booster that's ever offered for the
Yeah.
end of time,
Yep.
and they won't care about any of the other. I mean, and that's a brainwash level. That's
Yeah.
level of
That's cult.
right?
It's cult. It's chosen sides, and then whatever. Read whatever to fit
That's
your
not
narrative.
believing the science, as we all heard over the year.
No one truly. But we're seeing a backwards world play out in front of our very eyes. One that is, it's made it hard to find like humor and stuff. Like even doing the show,
Yeah.
and everything is taken on a more serious tone to me. Like
It is annoying.
This feels very serious. Like what's going on. Like where it started basically with politics, right?
Right.
Where it was like two people could watch the same scene, it didn't have to be a long scene, and get completely different takes from it. Like that felt new.
Yeah.
Kyle Rittenhouse is another example of the country seeing two polar opposite things, and I don't ever remember having that feeling.
I thought
in my
about this
life.
more, by the way.
It's disturbing, man. It's making things less fun.
Whoever the lady, I forget who the lady was, because I mean, she seemed to be rather not important, but high credentialed. The lady that you said used to be on CNN or whatnot, and you said she was talking yesterday
Sunny
about
Hostin?
Yeah, that probably is it.
Yeah.
And I was
On
thinking
The
about,
View?
Yeah, I was thinking about that more, and it was like people were starting to tell her, like, look at, even you said, like, people that weren't before was like they were finally seeing it, like, look at this was self-defense. And I thought about it more, like her only response was, well, if that was a black kid, he would have been dead. And it's like, okay, that's how you're lost an argument now, because
Yeah.
that has nothing to do with the point.
Yeah.
Well, that's true. Whether that's true or not, and if it would have been a black kid, he would have been dead.
And it's flat not true anyways.
But it's
There are
irrelevant.
statistics about this.
But it's irrelevant anyway, because that's not what the court was. That's not what the trial was for. The
Yeah.
trial was deciding if this action was legal or not legal.
Illegal, yeah.
Illegal. And so the point is, when she's saying, well, in the end, by the law and by this in the video, it's very obvious that, it was self-defense. And she goes, well, if he was black, he would have been killed.
He would have been dead.
Well, that's
Okay.
okay. Well, that doesn't have anything to do with what
Yeah.
we're talking about here.
Yeah, it's a fake argument. I wonder how many people, my guess is anybody that thinks Kyle Rittenhouse is a monster, white supremacist, all the labels they throw at these type of people they disagree with politically, clearly. How many of them would have watched the interview that he did with Tucker Carlson?
None,
last night?
probably. Well,
my guess is
some-
zero. My guess is zero.
Some hate watchers out there, but other than that, no, probably.
Yeah, people looking to pick it apart, maybe to bolster. I honestly, man, I watched it. I watched it today. I don't. That kid seems pretty amazing to me, and I was trying to look at it through the lens of 17-year-old kid, 18-year-old kid. Going in there and hearing him, someone for an hour tell
Yeah.
their story, and he seems like a great kid. I don't know how else to say it.
Right.
When you look at his background, what he was doing with his life, he's as poor as they get. He's got no financial help, but working for his community and, lifeguarding and wanting to get into, you can just tell that this is a kid that's going to go on to do stuff. And then you find out he's enrolled at Arizona State in the nursing program.
Yeah.
Like someone that just wants to help people and give back to the community. Like,
For now.
well, what do you mean?
I'm
You think he'll be booted from
No,
school?
I'm just kidding. I don't know these
Yeah.
days. You know what, though? By the way, you are right when you say about the humor. Like, honestly, like, I've been very busy with the other stuff I kind of have going on too, mind you, and some others, everyone's got shit. But like, it has been harder, like in the beginning of even the year, even at the beginning of the pandemic, like last year, I try to write jokes on Facebook. I'm not really getting on stage much more, but I try to write stuff for Facebook still, because it's like, I like doing it. And I will tell you that you're right. Like, it does seem harder. Like, everything that I try to write, like, you have to think too about, like, it's like you don't have to, but you kind of do. Like, oh my God, is this going to be who's gonna fucking sit there? Oh, this is this or this is. Everyone is
Yeah.
so serious. That's like you have to like look at a joke you might even think and like through all these lenses of like how many people are gonna. Not that you have to, but I'm saying I do. When I'm doing
everybody
it, I do.
does. Everybody
And it's
feels
like-
it, and everybody's under attack.
It's this tension.
I
that's
never
just-
thought it would apply to comics. I always thought that was, or I would have hoped that was just off limits. Like
Well-
a comic by nature that's what they're doing is they're poking fun of society and they're poking fun of elites and they're poking fun of, I mean, distrusting the government, distrusting society is what a comic does.
That's
like
crazy,
that's where
that-
you get the context of a comedian. You know, if they're doing their job properly, they're taking fire at every. They're taking the attack to everybody. And to see them of all people,
Oh my God.
of all people you could attack, comedians, like it just doesn't make sense. And seeing a lot of them buckle to that too.
I started watching.
It's terrifying.
I'm sure it was a CNN thing, but it's on HBO Max. I didn't watch it back on CNN, but it's
Yeah.
like the thing about late night. Essentially, I think it's like the start of late night. It's something. It basically goes through the
Yeah.
history of.
History of television,
And
type
it's going
thing.
through Carson right now, and it's funny. I mean, they're talking about the years that he was on. You know, you're talking about the '60s and shit, and race wars and Vietnam and all this shit.
Yeah.
And they talk about how he just kept it. He's like, he just kept adamant in interviews and everything. Like, no, I'm not here for that. It's not my job to be out here telling people what I believe. I'm here to be funny. I'm here to entertain. That's what people
Yeah.
want out of this. And then you see things like Colbert. My God, what he's become. Does he even do a show? I don't understand what he's doing at this point. Is it
No, Jimmy Kimmel too.
Jimmy Kimmel and fuck Jimmy Kimmel suck that motherfucker? How is he not canceled? I don't. I mean, we know why he's not canceled.
Yeah,
but
oh,
I
yeah.
mean,
He's got the right politics.
Right, he's got the right politics. But Colbert coming out and saying if that wasn't if what he did wasn't illegal, then we need to change the laws.
Yeah.
Really, Kimmel or really Colbert? What would you like in a situation where if you had someone, 2 or 3 people trying to shoot at you, would you not want to be able to? Well, what is his answer to that? You know, just
they don't have one.
right. And why are you doing this on the fucking Late Show?
Yeah.
Why has this become the whole show?
Because his show sucked when he first started. It was going in the shitter until he started blasting Trump.
Right.
And so he just settled into that pocket of I'll just go extreme hardcore left politics and make every word that comes out of my mouth extreme left politics.
Which is so funny
and
because
so he's willing to just write off half the country and
it's such
whatever,
an
but,
anti-rebellious, by the way. It's such a fake
yeah, oh,
rebellion.
no
it's,
shit.
it's fake edge.
Yeah.
It's not real edgy. But the weird thing is everyone does it, and yet they praise themselves as like they're standing, like telling
Yeah.
truth, speaking truth to power or something.
Yeah, the amount of people
But they're just
that sit
sucking
here
each
and
other's
go,
dick.
This is a harsh take that most people would never have, but I'm going to say it anyways. Kyle Rittenhouse is basically a white supremacist who advances the white narrative. He could go into town and shoot up whoever he wants, illegally bring a gun and cross state lines. They just spit
The hot take
narrative,
would be
and
saying
it's
what
like,
you're like. What we're
Yeah.
gonna say. That would be if
That's
Kimmel
why-
came
that's
out
why-
and said, "Guys, look it. I get it. We have problems in this country. We all agree. There's things that we need to work on. But in this situation, that would be a hot take. Now he'd be off the air
that's
the
why
next
I'm so
day, but-
disappointed in Robert De Niro or Rage Against the Machine. It's like, dude, your whole point is distrust of the government or the narrative that's being spun by literally every media outlet in the country, telling you what to believe about a story that we can all see with our own eyes, by the way. And you're going to come out now and act like you're counterculture still, but
That's what's so weird about it.
It's insanity.
That's what I don't.
It's
And dude,
insanity.
I get these fucking. And I know,
But I think most people see it for what it is.
I'm so sorry that
I mean, what happened to "fuck you"? I won't do what you tell me.
Right.
Now you're gonna
That
do
same band is
You're gonna
making-
promote vaccines. Not like
not
what
promote
the
them.
fuck?
Promoting is one thing. Making it mandatory at your concerts is a different thing.
Yeah.
It's one thing if you say, "Hey guys, I know we've always been." How much more respect would you have for them if they came out and said, "Look, it guys, we as much as anybody have been against government and against people telling us what to do, but we just think this is the right thing." That's one thing because you're saying your opinion.
Yeah.
But just mandating it your concert.
Are they mandating it at
I
their
believe
concerts?
so.
Yeah,
I believe
wouldn't
that
surprise
live.
me.
I believe that live. What is it? Live.
Like, how do these guys get in lockstep with the government? It just seems it's creepy.
Green Day
it's cringy.
doing
Green
it?
Day's doing it. You look at what a rebel, what an outlaw Bob De Niro is. Fuck Trump on stage. It's like, okay, you just told an audience who agrees with you 100% across the board. Like, where are you taking the risk? The risky guy would be Kid Rock or someone like that
Right.
going up in front of that room and going, fuck you, you know. I
Yeah.
disagree with all of your narratives. Ricky Gervais.
Right.
Ricky Gervais
Who's a
is
left, by
ballsy.
the way, right? Like,
Of
that's a
course he
funny
is.
thing. He's a liberal.
Yeah,
Which they
of
don't
course he
care
is.
about. But when he says that, you know, whatever. And no,
But I don't, you know, I don't understand, like, clearly, if you, like, talking about Kyle Rittenhouse, which has been the big story of the week, because it's just another thing that splits the nation in half. I don't know how, like, that is so crystal clear what happened in that situation. And a jury saw it that way. Half the country saw it that way. The facts were indefensible, like irrefutable. Like, it was so obvious. If you watch start to finish, you watched a prosecution that had no business bringing that case.
Right.
In a million to launch that to charge him 3 days after that event happened. Like, it was such a rush to mob rule, and then to get your ass handed to you in court and still double, triple, quadruple down on this narrative. And then he does this interview, and you hear this graceful kid who tells this story. I mean, it's terrible what happened to him. They put him in jail, and his lawyers wanted him to stay there. They thought that was good for the narrative. His first lawyer team, who were like, they did interviews and said, yeah, he was kind of part of a militia. Kyle Rittenhouse was like, I didn't even know what a militia was until like 3 days after they did that interview, and then someone told me what it was. I had to ask people. I didn't even know. I'm not a militia. So he's in his jail. He's like, yeah, it was kind of like a 1-star Super 8 motel.
Yes.
I had a bed, a toilet, a shower, a TV, a tablet. I'm like, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
You know, no running water.
Right.
And so he didn't bitch to anyone, even when he was talking to his lawyers, never said anything about it. And so from October 30th, this won't even seem like a big deal to you.
Yeah.
To me, from October 30th to November 20th, he never took a shower.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Sounds
I like
awesome to you, I know. Dude,
rinse.
he said by the time when he got home, when he left there, drove home with, you know, family or friends, whatever, to when he got out finally November 20th, he took like a 3-hour shower at home. His skin was peeling off him.
Oh my God.
And he was bleeding. He's bleeding through his skin.
Yeah.
Because he'd been so filthy and so gross in that place. But he's like, yeah, I kind of made some friends in there when they actually heard me tell my story.
Yeah.
You know, it was just, but, you know, he just seemed like such a quality kid. I mean, he really did. And I you know, I know people that don't want to believe that are not going to give him that benefit of the doubt. They're probably never going to watch that interview. But I don't know how you could watch that trial and then watch that interview and knowing the absolute worst scum, burn in hell, you fucking losers, pieces of shit that he actually killed. Fuck them. And to see celebrities say their name. Oh, the one convicted of 5 times raping children between 9/11.
Right.
Like, fuck that guy. That was just an
here's
animal.
this. I'll say this.
Animals.
My opinion still would be, like, in reality, my opinion would be is that it's still, you know, it's not his job, Kyle's job, you know, to take the justice out on these people. Having said it, it was the self-defense. That's what I'm saying. Like, see, that's the difference to me between how certain people talk and how I feel like people like you or me talk. Like, I still would say, in my opinion, you know, it still wasn't Kyle's job, as horrific as these people were. Yes, it was not his job to take
There
it.
were more of them, man.
I understand that, but I'm just saying
do.
it wasn't his job to do that. It's the criminal justice's job. But in this case, they're shooting at him and kicking him and throwing rocks or something at him. That's different.
Yeah.
So it's just I don't know. It's a tough deal, man.
Yeah, hindsight's 2020. Should he have been there? You know, would he have been there again?
I would still say in my mind, I don't think he should have been there.
I don't like the idea of vigilante justice, but you could argue that's Batman. You know,
well,
that's what
Batman is not a real person, Mike.
Well, whatever. He's been protecting Gotham
I have
for
a
years.
big. You know what, dude?
But if the cops aren't going to do their job, if they're going to stand out and let your city burn, it would be really hard. And I would hope that if my little neighborhood of Franklin was under attack by fucking anarchists and terrorists, domestic terrorists, let's call them what they are, riot squad. There were no protesters there, just smashing cars, lighting them on fire.
Right.
And the cops were just totally standing down while this went on for day after day. I would hope someone would come in and go, you know what, Mike? We're going to look after your house. They're not going to burn your house down.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
I mean, I would hope that somebody would have the common sense to go, no, we're not putting up with this.
No, I know. That's
you
fair.
don't get to just come in here and destroy this place because you're upset about a fucking narrative that's been pumped into your brain that you think this is the most unfair world or country on planet Earth. It's just not. It's not right.
I have a
It's not
question.
right.
I have a question though. When you mentioned Batman, when you have like Spider-Man and the shit, you see. I mean, I don't watch these movies, but you see these movies, and you always talk about these guys getting thrown through 5 buildings.
No, I hate it.
Who
Yeah.
pays for that in the end?
No, there are
I mean,
people that take issue with this. Like,
we watch them.
the amount of innocent life that would be ruined by throwing someone through 5 fucking
we
buildings.
watch these movies, and it's all to take like one guy down, and it's like, dude, buildings just get toppled over. There'd be bombs.
We saw what happened on 9/11.
Right,
when 2 buildings went down.
That's it.
And
Yeah,
it took 20 years to rebuild one fucking tower.
Right. So what happens in these worlds
Yeah.
where they're just throwing men through buildings and like,
Dude, they actually try to correct for that now, and because people have said, they got to take it so seriously. Like in real life, you know what? If you topple buildings like that, the mass casualties would be in the tens of thousands, if not
the other
millions.
thing I always think is like, I think I put this on Facebook once, but it was like the idea like that they're always in New York. Are people in other cities, like if you're just in, Nebraska, do you read in the paper that, oh yeah, there's this guy named Spider-Man in New York and he
Yeah.
fights bad guys?
Yeah.
Or like, and you're just like, yep, I guess that's a thing. And
Yeah.
we don't, what happens to people bad? Why don't these criminals ever think like, yo, let's just spread it around a little bit. Maybe we
Yeah,
can-
get out of Gotham. We can
Yeah.
go terrorize
Like, what are you
another
just
city.
doing one city all the
Yeah.
time for? What,
I don't know.
I just,
It's funny.
but you know what I mean? What people in like I said, Nebraska, would they read in their paper? Would they go travel to New York to hope to see Spider-Man? Like
I
they-
would.
like, right?
Catch a glimpse of him.
Like there he is.
Go by the Daily. Is it the Daily Planet?
Yeah, I think so.
was that Superman?
I don't know.
Superman's-
They're all the same, right?
Yeah, Peter Parker. I don't know. I don't remember where he worked.
No,
Yeah.
I don't
Or
know.
was he a student? Who
No, he
cares?
was. Yeah, I don't know.
Who cares?
How could people not know who Clark Kent was? Like, how could someone not know?
I know.
like what happens when he has a day off? Does he ever fucking go, on a
Does
vacation?
crime take a day off?
Right? I don't know.
No, man. That's
Does
why he's
he-
got superpowers.
What
He's
if
good.
he has to work late at the paper? I mean,
Did he work at the paper?
he worked at the paper, I think,
Superman,
trying to
though.
catch himself, right? Or is it Spider-Man? I don't know.
Depends. Who knows? Eve? We are the last people that should be talking about
But what do they-
comics
can't
and
they-
superheroes.
Can't they take a day off?
No, they don't go on vacation. What's the role of them? Did you see the video of the guy that ran over all the people in Waukesha?
No, I haven't.
He parked the car, his van, neatly in
Yeah.
a driveway, and then walked down the street and starts pounding on a door. Of
Oh,
course, they've got a
is this a different one, or you mean the one?
Daryl Brooks,
Okay,
Math
you're-
Boy Fly.
Okay,
or whatever
okay.
the
Sorry,
guy we're
okay.
talking
I thought.
Yeah, he's caught on a doorbell, cam, ring doorbell, pounded on the guy's door.
Right.
He's just murdered all these people, and this is the next story. I'm saying right now, this story is going to get politicized.
Yeah,
And there's
Well,
gonna be
it's a news
people-
story.
Huh?
It's just a news story.
No,
I mean,
but-
you can't
but
even do news stories.
specifically.
Yeah, I know. what you mean.
Specifically, this one, he mowed down a bunch of white people.
Well, a few less white people. So
Yeah,
I mean,
which
God
is-
bless him.
Which is good for a
doing-
lot of
he's
people.
doing God's
in the
work.
narrative. This one is going to get politicized. I'm already feeling that vibe, like people wanting to defend him in some way, and I don't understand why.
Do you know? I don't. Do you know? Still, has there been any more explanation of why? Like, really, was it just he was on a run from these knife beatings
Doesn't make
or
any
something, or knife
sense.
stabbings, and then he
Do-
runs into a
You
parade?
wouldn't blow through a barricade, not honk your horn, by the way. If you're trying to get away from something, it'd be much easier
Right.
to avoid hitting people. Honk your horn so they get the fuck out
Yeah,
of
it's
your
not
way.
the easiest way to
No.
avoid a situation.
No, it's not. So it doesn't make any sense. Plus, he's got all kinds of posts, Black Lives Matter shit, and the Kyle Rittenhouse verdict. Whether or not that had anything to do with it, but it's just another one of these guys. It's a career lump of shit. Career, and it just
Right.
tells me what the bigger pile of shit the human being is, the more the mob wants to defend them.
I know it is crazy.
It's just unbelievable. Say his name. Like, no, dude. I'm not going to say Joseph Rosenbaum's name. He was butt fucking children. He was seeking out single moms so that he could take advantage and rape their fucking sons, their child sons. Like, no, we don't need to say his name. We don't get to do that. But this guy, yeah, he knocks on this door, and this guy answers the door.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, they're just full of shit all the time.
yeah.
Everything that comes out of these people's mouths, By these people, I mean criminals.
Right, right, of
You know what I
course.
mean? Whether
I knew
it's
that's what you meant, yeah.
Rosenbaum, whether it's Huber, whether it's this clown piece of shit, Daryl Brooks. I called an Uber and I'm just waiting for an Uber. Can I come in? It's cold and
Yeah.
I'm homeless and they just
But he called it Uber, right?
throw a pile of fucking things. This guy comes out, lets him in his house.
Yeah.
Gives him a jacket, gives him a sandwich, and then he's seen cop cars buzz by outside. He's like,
Yeah,
the homeowner is like,
Right.
this is a little weird. I'm
Yeah,
starting
yeah.
to feel a little odd about this. And so he asks the guy to get the fuck out of his house. He's like, get out of the house. And the guy can't go 2 seconds without lying again. He gets outside, and cops are buzzing the neighborhood. You can see lights in the
Yeah, yeah.
distance. They're closing in. The neighbor has now called the cops. Starts pounding on the door again. Oh, I left my ID in there. I left my ID in there.
ID. Yeah.
Yeah, really? You took your wallet out, took your ID out, and left it on the counter.
Right.
You know, here this guy gives him food, clothing, lets him use his phone.
Yeah.
You know, and so God only knows. Had he let him back in, thankfully the cops show up and are like, hands up.
Yeah.
Surprised he didn't pull a suicide by cop, honestly. Surprised he didn't charge the cops.
Yeah,
Would have
at this
blown
point.
up this narrative and it would have been like, oh my God, they killed an innocent, awesome
yeah.
black guy again.
Right.
These racist cops.
I wonder if they had shot him, if they would even mention that he just ran over 5 people. Honestly, if they shot, like say he ran at the cops and they shot him.
A couple news outlets would, but not all of them.
Can you imagine that? They just wouldn't even say that he happened to just literally run over like 6 people.
Yeah. Yeah, he was posting his lyrics. They're pointing to his lyrics. I don't like this because I get it. If you're an artist and he claims to be an aspiring rapper, you know, his rap is so not original.
Yeah.
It's so just like what 8 billion other rappers have done. But anyways, he had raps that people are putting in the press, including "fuck the pigs," "fuck Donald Trump." Another one had lyrics, "They gonna need a cleaner for the shit we did. All my killers, Gacy, where them bodies hid?" Sir, we know where Gacy's bodies were hid. Like, are you kidding me?
Right.
John Wayne Gacy's were
Yeah.
in the cellar and attic of his house, under his house. Like, Gacy, where them bodies hid? Dude, like a simple Google search would tell you they recovered the bodies from John Wayne Gacy. Don't worry about it. Sliding through the city with no safety on. Ooh, he's rolling through. His gun's cocked and the safety's off.
I
He's
thought you were
ready
talking
to
about
go.
a safety belt, possibly.
No, he wasn't talking about a seatbelt. I think he was talking about the safety on his gun.
Damn, that's even harder.
Yeah.
Than I was thinking.
They also make mention of AK-47 assault rifles and killing people.
Well, yeah, you
Ooh,
want to pull up rap?
Every
Like,
fucking rapper does that. I don't put much stock in that, but who knows?
well, honestly, that would be like, really, that'd be like taking even like, because he's not, basically an amateur, right? He's not at high level by any means. That'd be like taking anybody who ever tried comedy at one point and then they gave up and got a real job and he went back and like, he said this on stage. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, he's a comic trying to be entertaining. Like,
Yeah, this guy's trying to be hardcore.
right.
and,
That's
you
just
know,
is what it is.
street guy. But yeah, his video has that van in it, by the way.
Oh,
That Ford
course.
SUV or whatever, real hardcore gangsta vehicle.
Yeah.
He ran over those people with. God, the more I read about QAnon, holy shit, dude. These
How long has
people
it been around? Like, is it?
2017?
So it's really new.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was started
How do you know what's
on
and
a
this-
4chan.
Okay.
And it was like Q was signing off as like a patriot in the know. And you could see early on, like it did give the illusion that it was coming from inside.
Gotcha.
Like Q would say something and then Donald Trump would almost say something identical in a speech the next day.
well, it's Donald
like,
Trump. How easy?
Yeah.
He's very easily. You know what I mean? Like, when there's a
Right.
person you could like guess what he's about to say.
But it was coded, and
Yeah,
so people
no,
were
I
like,
get
"Oh, is it Steve Bannon? It's someone."
Yeah.
It almost appeared like someone had to be in the meetings with these, and it's just it works these people up that want to be worked up and get into this cult thing. I mean, you had
Can't
mentioned
fathom
the
it, yeah.
Dealey Plaza,
Yeah.
waiting for JFK Jr. Well, more than 100 QAnon members are
Is this a different
still
one?
in Dallas,
They're still there.
awaiting the return of John F.
I wonder
Kennedy
if I could
Jr.
get down there. I want to get down there and,
Yeah.
and talk to these people.
Yeah,
What are they doing?
Dude, it gets crazier. The more you read about it, the crazier it sounds. So This is more than 3 weeks after they first arrived at the grassy knoll on November 2nd, saying in the hopes that he would reappear at 12:29 p.m., the exact time his father was shot dead 48
How many
years
more
ago.
paid days off do they have? You know what I mean?
Yeah, how are these guys doing it? Just camping out in Dealey Plaza for weeks
Well,
on
these
end?
days homelessness is allowed anywhere, I guess. So
Yeah, that's true. On Monday, the group took to a bridge overlooking the infamous Dealey Plaza near the grassy knoll to mark the 48th anniversary of the assassination of JFK in the hope his son, who died in a plane crash in 99, would return and help bring Donald Trump back to the presidency.
oh my God,
He did
I
not
want to talk to
by
these
the
people
record,
so bad.
He did not make a reappearance.
Oh,
JFK Jr.
really?
Just if you were wondering like how this played out, I hate to give the
Oh,
ending of the
Junior
movie
was the
away.
one that was coming back. It wasn't even JFK,
It was Junior.
or is the president? Was he a junior, or are you
No,
talking
no.
about
John F. Kennedy was murdered
in Dallas?
in Dallas.
And his son was going to.
JFK Jr., who was like a fashion
Wouldn't
magazine
he come back
guy.
to life wherever the plane crashed or whatever?
JFK Jr. died in a plane crash off Martha's Vineyard.
So why is he coming back though in Dallas, where his dad was dead?
You'd have to ask.
You know what I'm
QAnon
saying? No,
folks.
don't you think
you're
that they-
trying to make sense of the
Don't you think
QAnon
they should be
story.
going to the plane crash area then? I mean, if they're trying to.
Why would he come back to the site of the plane crash? That would be a horrible memory for
But
him.
why would he come back to the site where his dad was killed? I think you know what I think. It just feeds into if you're going to be into QAnon, you're going to feed into that Lee Harvey Oswald didn't shoot Kennedy, which I don't believe so either.
Yeah.
But if you're going to feed into because it'd be to get them over Martha's. Right, get all these guys over to Martha's Vineyard and kind of maybe by
Yeah, they'd shoo them out of town quick.
But here, but not just that, but I could see them being more like, yes, grassy knoll and shit. Like,
They plan to stay put in Dallas until the late lawyer, who JFK Jr.
Yeah.
and journalist, returns from the dead. JFK Jr.
I'm going to be.
is a popular figure within the QAnon conspiracy movement, with some believing that he is in fact Q, the group's anonymous leader. They initially hoped to see Kennedy appear on the mound where his father was killed, but changed their story, claiming he would come back from the dead at a Rolling Stones concert in
Yeah,
Dallas
I saw
later
that. I saw
day.
that. Yeah.
Asked when their Messiah was going to arrive, the Q believers told reporters that Junior was going to appear at 12:29. When that time rolled around, people started reciting the Pledge of Allegiance, but there was no sign.
God, I wish I could have been there.
I know, of the former president's son. They stuck around, clinging to the hope that their wildest dreams had come true, and the Qs remained at the hallowed site, even as a torrential downpour drenched their signs and banners, which said Trump JFK Jr. 2024.
I'm not even trying to be funny. Could you imagine sitting there for real and talking to if you could go fly down there right now or been there that day and talk to these people?
Yeah.
How could they say to you? Could you stand there and not laugh in their face? I mean,
Dude, we're expecting a parade, said a woman named Ginny, who had traveled 700 miles from Nebraska.
Oh my God.
JFK is going to be here, she told Rolling Stone magazine. Ginny described how many dead celebrities, such as Richard Pryor, are actually still alive and part of the secret plan, which would be revealed at the Rolling Stones concert at the Cotton Bowl.
Did the Stones know about
Dallas.
this?
I don't know.
I mean, were they informed?
Robin Williams was here the other day. Michael Jackson is very high in the movement.
Okay.
Yeah. The conspiracy theorists now reportedly believe JFK Jr. Will reveal he switched political affiliations and faked his own death to avoid retribution. So people were going to hammer him for switching from
Gotcha.
Democrat to
Yeah,
Republican.
yeah.
So he had to fake his own death. According to the theory, he would announce that he was running with former President Donald J. Trump in the 24 presidential election, but Trump would then step down and let JFK Jr. step in as president.
Wow.
And appoint Michael Flynn as vice president.
So in their plan, by the way, Donald Trump is going to step down?
Yeah.
Do they know Donald Trump? Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Well, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, it's JFK Jr. coming back from the dead.
yeah, it's
So-
Donald Trump.
Yeah, and he's going to be like, no, I'm out. Michael Flynn, you be the VP. Trump would then most likely become the King of Kings, which
Two Corinthians, right? I mean, it's
not a
tough.
bad title, King
Yeah.
of Kings.
Yeah, for sure. Well, what's his name from yesterday? Michael, who was the billionaire? What was his fucking name that we were talking about yesterday with the harem of ladies and whatnot?
Oh yeah. Go get something. Yeah.
But he was king. Made the girls call him king, right? And
Yeah,
stuff like
King
that, so.
and
Wonder if you would have had
something
an
else.
issue with that if Donald Trump was now being named King of Kings.
King of Kings, dude.
I mean, it could have had a battle of the billionaires there.
A popular QAnon Telegram account with more than 100,000 subscribers wrote about the conspiracy in a post on Monday. It didn't specify
Telegram?
exactly what becoming the King of Kings would entail.
Yeah, what would those roles be?
Yeah, I don't know what that means, but it sounds dope.
You
I
just
mean, if
walk
someone
around
would
going,
call me the King of Kings.
Looks good.
Looking good. As King of Kings, I appreciate everything that I'm seeing here. They also believe that JFK would...
And by the way, we have so I believe in the political system enough that he's going to run for president with a formerly dead person
And win. Yeah.
then step down, name someone else as vice president, and then they're just going to make up a thing called King of Kings.
Well, dude, let's easy. Okay, we don't... Just because you're not familiar with the King of Kings...
That's true. My bad on the being a little naive here. I'm sorry.
Yeah. They also believe that JFK would appear, and this part I do believe, actually.
Okay.
Of all the weird things, this part I actually do believe. That JFK Jr. would appear, the clocks would go back an hour, people would adopt the Julian calendar, and the date would go back to October 20th. Now,
Oh,
that
yeah.
part seems legit,
Right, for sure.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, the Julian calendar has always made more sense to me.
Then the Gregorian or a thing I think that we're on right now.
Sure.
I did a history day about
And
it. but
who
I
wouldn't
can't
want to go
remember.
back to October 20th? Got Halloween to look forward
Right,
to.
right.
I mean, so I'm okay with that. JFK will then help usher in a new age American prosperity, as his father did in the '60s. They also offered the theory that JFK Jr. and Jackie Kennedy would all reappear, after which JFK would tour the world for 7 days, transfer the presidency back to Trump, and then die. So there you're getting JFK back, too.
Oh, wow.
And Jackie Onassis.
Why her?
She was married to JFK. And they caught her nude on a boat. She had a huge bush.
Oh, God.
It was in play.
Well, it was the 60s or
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah, it
50s
was.
or 60s.
Yeah. It's unclear why QAnon followers thought JFK Jr. would appear at the location where his father was famously murdered in '63.
Right.
That was your question. One person wrote afterwards, "I'm sad for everybody. We now look like a bunch of liars, but let's keep the faith."
I'm not going to say liars is the word you look like. You know what I mean? That wouldn't
Yeah.
be the word I would use.
Yeah, you don't really look like liars.
I mean, I could think of a
Because
few.
they probably believe it, right?
Right. I'm not saying that they're liars. I think you're right. They believe it.
Well, not every member of the QAnon movement believes JFK will come back. John Sobel, who organized the QAnon for God and Country Patriot Double Down Convention in October,
Sounds like a
said
blast.
the belief would make the movement look absolutely insane. You guys already did that long ago. It didn't take the JFK. He said, here's another example of New Age blasphemous hot garbage propaganda that's currently in circulation. None of this is of our true movement or was ever mentioned in a single drop. Not ever. There's only one King of Kings, and that is our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. This couldn't be more wrong.
Can you imagine? Like, for whenever this got started, I mean, we're in 2021. This isn't the Middle Ages.
Yeah.
There are people sitting here. They got together and convinced people. This one lady to drive 700 miles or fly or whatever she got down there because they thought this was going to happen.
Dude,
What are you doing with your lives? You know what? Go to the Rolling Stones concert. How about that instead? Just go to the concert and then fly back. How about that? Like,
Yeah.
have a nice night out.
it's so bad. I don't know. I don't even, like,
What are you doing with your life?
part of me goes, you know what? These groups of people have existed forever.
They have.
There's always been, groups of weirdos that believe all kinds of crazy shit and cults and whatnot. And this is no different. But, it got tied to Trump and they really believed, what was it, that he was the savior, waging a secret war against the global cabal of elite
Yeah,
Satan-worshiping pedophiles in government, business, and the media.
I mean,
I really want to know what the truth is about this pedophiles in elite circles
there is something
of
there.
media, elite Hollywood people. Like, there are too many people that have mentioned this.
Yeah.
That would know. So I don't want to get on a conspiracy tip, but there's just way too many people that seem to be terrified to say anything. But
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, I believe that. This
Yeah.
whole thing with Epstein, I believe that I'm telling you, I believe in some level of a deep state. I really
Oh,
do.
for sure.
I believe
Yeah,
that
yeah,
there's some very, very powerful, wealthy people that do a lot of things that affect us more than we know. Like, I think most people in our government even like don't even know. Like,
Yeah.
when you say about our president, why doesn't he just go and get the UFO codes or this or that? It's because they're like, no, dude, this guy's rolling in every 4 years. There's people that know shit that the president never hears,
Yeah.
right?
I believe that.
And I believe in some level of a deep state and some level,
Yeah.
and so I just don't know what to do about it, but I believe in it. But as far as getting to this point where you know, I know I use that analogy all the time, but dude, someone could hit me in a car tomorrow. I don't want to fucking go away. And my last day I was spent like going down the dark web and like, John F. Kennedy's coming back, and or even however much they control our lives. It is
Yeah.
what it is. What am I going to fucking do about it?
Yeah, it's a bit scary, E.
I mean, that whole island pedo. I mean, you don't have to go down that whole thing, but the pedo island. I mean, dude, think about all the massive, rich, and wealthy people that are connected to that, and we just
And if
don't
you
even. It
think
just never
about-
goes any. Oh well.
If you think about people that have too much of anything.
Oh, it's not good for
it's
humans.
not good.
Not
It's
good.
not good for humans. You know, there's been studies about this, like ultra wealthy kids are like the abuse level, the harm done to them is worse than the poorest
Yeah.
communities and their kids. Because, and I don't have the study in front of me, but
No, I
just
know
like,
what you mean.
yeah. I can only imagine when you get up into the, you know, when you're talking about the elite of the elite, billionaires club.
No
And-
remote. Like, you don't have everything's just at your anything and everything.
That would get boring.
Everything becomes boring, dude.
Everything becomes
normal.
boring, right? You could like go into the go-kart track is awesome. But if you lived at the go-kart track and all you could do is go-kart all day, it would become fucking boring.
Every job becomes a job. Even like talk to people that they'll love what they do. It's still at some point. Then it still just becomes a job, and then
Yeah.
you still want to get away from it at points or this or that. I
And
mean,
people that can be as deviant as they want, like human beings are fucked up. And if you can just snap your fingers and have like a harem of the hottest chicks on earth
Right.
come in and do your wildest fantasies, and then all it takes is a pittance of cash to make them go away and fuck off.
Yeah.
And you could do that every day. At some point, that's gonna get boring, and you're gonna need to, I don't know, make them younger.
right, mate.
Make them animals, make them
Right.
whatever. Like, that doesn't surprise me in the least.
Absolutely.
That would happen. Or human sacrifice. Like, where does it end? Where
Right.
do you get
It probably
to?
doesn't, and I'm sure that stuff actually happens. Honestly,
The Illuminati, or
yeah.
you know, some of these groups where it's just off the books, off the records. They have enough money to shut anyone up and
Right.
shut everything down.
And so my point of bringing that up was with some of this QAnon stuff. Like, I even don't disagree with almost when you get in, like when you were talking about nut jobs or these people that get into these conspiracy.
Yeah.
I actually tend to agree, not agree, but like, you know, at the very, very core of what some of them go, I'll probably be like, yeah, you're probably right. There might be 5 people in the whole world running the planet. I'm not saying I believe that, but it wouldn't shock me if we somehow found out there was literally 5 people running the world.
yeah,
but I
the
would just be like-
global elites
but I'm just saying, man,
that
I would
want to
just-
make it a global economy.
I would just
and
go
all
like,
that.
what am I going to do?
Yeah, what are you going to do? Nothing.
I'm not going to sit here to spend my time going
Yeah,
down
but don't you want to be like, ha ha, you didn't fool me. I knew.
My way
knew
of,
all along.
You know what? My way of doing that is I do know. In my opinion, I do know. I do know that there's some people that control what happens on this earth
Yeah.
more than we know. And, you know, it's just like with politicians. When you talk about some of these politicians and like Biden admitting that he didn't even watch the trial. You know what I mean? And yet he sent out. So my point is, like, for someone like him, you know what? I do know. And so they don't fool us. They think they do. These
Yeah.
politicians walk around. He thinks
No,
he
it's
does
you know what
some-
the problem is? It's the smugness of knowing that everyone knows you're full of shit and still not giving a fuck.
Right.
Still going, yeah, what are you going to do about it, peon? We all watched the video. We all know what happened. I'm going to lie to your face,
I know.
right to your face, act like what you saw wasn't what you saw, even though everyone saw it and we all know it. But you're such peons, it doesn't matter what I say. There's nothing you can do about it.
I know. It's hard.
It's that is infuriating on a level when you don't have accountability and you feel like the whole system is built on some level of accountability. Like,
Yeah.
if you do this and this happens as a result, you break the law this way and you get caught, there's consequences for that. But you see these people almost like it's a game, like
know.
life is a game, and that is infuriating, knowing that white collar criminals are never going down for their
Right.
crimes. That they're just going to, let's just fine them $5 billion.
Well, that's why, like, you know,
it's
here's the story, like, or not the story, but like, here's like when you talk about that guy yesterday, for example, having all this money, right? He can have 50 women, 100 women, whatever it is, 1,000 girls he's fucking, and this and that,
5,000.
or okay. So here's the thing: I'm not a socialist. I believe in capitalism. I believe in fair market and whatnot. Having said that, when Jay used to say like, okay, well, he invented this, so he gets the profits. You know, to an extent, that's true. But the reality is, when those people get to that level, they sit there and go, well, why don't you just work harder? Dude, that guy isn't working harder anymore. He did something at some point that got him a lot of money. Good for him. But at some point, you're not really putting, you know, they say like, they just make fun of like the lower class for saying, well, you're just lazy. Dude, bullshit. Once you get to not Elon Musk, but once you get to like Amazon dude money, that Jeff Bezos money, he's not going and putting in some hard day anymore. And yet he still makes that money off of just a fucking thing
And
he did in
more.
the past.
Yeah.
And so I'm not trying to be socialist,
No,
but I'm saying that's what
it's-
happens with humans, unfortunately.
It's so lopsided now. And Jay and I used to differ on this. Jay would argue like, hey, you made it just the point you just made.
And I kind of agree with that to an extent.
No, I do too, except it used to be when you looked at CEOs or owners of stuff, they took a risk, right?
Right.
And you go, yeah, that's to be commended. Like you start your own business and it succeeds, you should reap those benefits and rewards because you're the one that laid it on the line to do that.
Absolutely.
Right? And so you got to give him that. But it used to be like, oh, the head guy made 100 times more
Right,
than the little guy, right? The janitor
Or
made
even less than
X.
that. I mean,
Yeah,
honestly.
30x. He made 30 times
and now it's
what
like
they made.
1,000 times, whatever.
It's thousands of times. It's so off balance. It's not even funny.
I would never, because I do believe in capitalism more than socialism. I believe in free market more than the alternative. So I would never ever want to like say, Jeff Bezos, you've made too much money. You can't make more.
he has.
But on the same hand, he has. And I wish that, as a stupid idealistic person that you know that I am, wishes he could just be like, you know, man, I have more money than God. Maybe my workers shouldn't be pissing in bottles and missing breaks.
Yeah.
And I'm not, it's a thin line of like
It
not
just
trying to be
seems-
like, I want $15 an hour guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm not that guy that we used to talk about going like $15 an hour. Well, no, I get it.
Yeah, but you look at some companies have done that, you know, where they just
goes
go
pretty well for some of those companies
like
too.
Apple apparently treats their people. You look at Silicon Valley for all that, like Gin works in Silicon Valley, and those guys have remarkable perks. Remarkable
Yeah, yeah.
perks.
Okay.
They're very well compensated. So when you look at the stories that come out of Amazon, and these guys work these endless days, they have to run all day at work. They have to run. They don't have time to just like carry a package over to the line.
No,
They have
good.
to run, and they're bitching about the hours, the conditions,
Dude, maybe
bathroom
worked at
breaks.
Amazon a
like
little?
that's absurd. You should be like, I'm one of the biggest companies on planet Earth. These people don't make $20 an hour. They make $50 an hour.
Right.
Because what's that extra $1 billion a year to me?
Right.
What does it matter? You would just think that would be the natural thing. Instead, you end up looking like Dr. Evil.
Lene worked there, you know, during the pandemic a little bit, back in the day there. And she was what's called as a picker. And her job was to sit there and like sort boxes. They come down the line, and dude, look at, again, I'm not saying people shouldn't work. I like work. I like working hard. I respect that. I don't think that, I don't believe in just giving people money. But dude, that job she would talk about, she's there for 8 hours a day, and it is non-stop. And you have to be, and they're always on you. The numbers, gotta get faster. And they're constantly reminding you of where you're at.
Really?
And I'm just, look at, okay, and that's okay. Pay him $50 an hour, Bezos. Come on, or something. You know, dude. I heard a story recently about, I don't remember what the company was, but there, you know, some lady had created something. She had a female had a company. She created something and it went massive. I don't remember at all what it was, but she created something, sold her company for $1 billion or something. And you know what she did? She ended up taking all of her employees at a time. She took her into a special meeting and blah blah blah. And then she said, you know what? I want to thank you guys for everything. And she bought them like round two like first class tickets. They could pick anywhere in the world they wanted to go, and like $10,000. And like, this is spending money. Thanks for, you know, helping me get this business where it is. Is that everything? No, but it's something at least. And I can't believe that those people they're gonna die for her.
Yeah.
I mean, not die for her, but they're gonna work. Imagine how hard they're gonna work for that company.
Generosity goes a long way. I remember Matt, our buddy Matt, when he sold his company that he built up and made shit ton on.
Can you say? I never know what it was. Can you say what it was?
Midwest
or not
Door
really?
and Window.
Okay, I never knew.
And yeah, and Matty when he sold that, I think he gave that to the employees.
Really?
Yeah. And so they became.
Or they
owners
gave him
of
the
that.
company?
Yeah.
Okay, so not he sold it for money,
So
but then he gave.
didn't sell it.
Okay.
He ended up giving it to them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just said, have at it, make yours. They've been with him for years. He's
Yeah.
a great guy.
Yeah.
I hate to even tell that story because I don't remember the details exactly, but I think that's how that went. That Matt basically just gave that company to the employees that had been, and those guys would run through a wall for him,
Right?
Because he was super generous, hardworking, super smart. But
And there's always going to be
took care
bad
of
people.
everybody.
I get that. Like, this is where you go down the line where you say about humans being monsters. I get it. I'm not trying to live in that world of pretend. Like, I have my friends that I do the other podcasts with, they're like that. They have this thought of like the world can be like this. And I try to be like, guys, I'm sorry, but there's never not going to be war. Like, there's never not going to be some of this stuff. So I don't try to live in a pretend world, but I do wish we could live in a world where, like I said, dude, you don't need to be having $300 billion. I'm sorry, you don't.
Yeah.
$1 billion, okay, man. Even 5-ish. I don't know where that line is, but you don't need 300.
Well, it wouldn't have been that long ago where you would have said, dude, $100 million, fine. You got $100 million.
Right.
Great. You can't spend it in your lifetime.
Yeah.
And now we're at a point where it's like, no, they'll just buy $1 billion boat.
Right, that's the thing. They don't
know?
still need it. Even though I know prices go up, I know there's cost. I understand that, but it hasn't gone up enough that they need 300 billion. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? They could live off $1 billion and be.
Yeah.
I'm not saying. And I know, whatever, man. We're kind of going around and around here.
No,
guys.
it's discouraging, and I don't trust these people is the main thing. I don't care who they are. You don't get to that level without trouncing people. You
don't.
Just don't.
It's not possible,
period.
almost.
And so whether you're talking about Microsoft, Bill Gates, if you're talking about that absolute creep at Facebook,
Yeah.
Mark Zuckerberg or Jeff Bezos, when you're talking about these guys, I don't trust them. And the fact is, they were elected to nothing. They don't
Right.
represent us. They don't speak for us. They weren't voted in by a constituency that gave them the kind of power that they wield now.
Well, they don't seem like humans.
Elon Musk is different.
Yeah.
Steve Jobs is different.
Mark Cuban, for example, dude. At least
Yeah.
he seems like a human. Yes, he's left leaning. Yes, he's all that.
Mark
but,
Cuban used to answer his phone when we'd call him.
Right. Yeah.
He'd
he
answer his
seems
fucking
like-
phone. He'd just, hello, and you'd be like,
Right.
hey,
There,
Mark
there
Cuban.
you go. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, he came into it so early on.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy was having wiffle ball tournaments in his living room and shit. It
Right.
was
Right.
hilarious.
Right.
And I don't believe everything in Mark Cuban, but the fact is, these guys with
No,
their
no one's perfect.
political leanings and global cabal leanings, and it's like, dude, no one appointed you to shit. You came up with an algorithm that's made you incredibly fucking wealthy. Let's leave it at that.
Right.
Just go spend your money, drink your Starbucks, whatever the fuck you do, and leave the rest of us out of it. But no, that's never enough.
I know.
They all need their own space program now and super yacht.
You know what
and this vaccine pushing from Bill Gates. Fuck that guy.
Oh, I know.
You weren't voted to shit, dude. And until you explain Jeffrey Epstein to me, because I
know.
don't buy it.
I know.
I don't buy it that the richest man on planet Earth needs to speak with Jeffrey Epstein for philanthropic reasons.
Right.
Really?
Exactly.
Some sketchy, already convicted fucking pedophile.
Bill Gates, who just got divorced,
no.
went through his wife talking about,
Yeah.
So, the thing I told and I don't want to, please, I'll let you absolutely tell me when to kind of stop going on this path. But what did I tell you? I was with my parents one time this summer, right? And again, I would not know normally, back in the day, and so a lot of listeners are just going to start thinking I'm sounding like a lefty, I'm sounding like a socialist. I'm not a socialist at all. But you know what? I am starting to realize at times, like you have a small business, right? We were up in somewhere up in north, and there was a small little coffee shop. It was so nice and this and that. And it's like, okay, they're doing well. Maybe they should make a second one and maybe make a third. And it's like, but you know what? It does get to a point where you know what the answer is? No, you don't need 100 of them. No, you don't need 5,000 of them.
Yeah.
Have enough that you can make a living. And yes, I think there's absolutely, make a living. Not have to, work a job you love, grew what you started. But no, you know what? Maybe we don't need 10,000 of them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because then they get to
I-
that point and then they go, well, I need more. And then it becomes absolutely not about their employees, and they know all their employees. Then it just becomes numbers on a fucking stock.
Yeah.
And I
So
I
what
love
is
to
the,
help
what's
out.
the answer? Yeah, cap?
I don't know.
Cap
That's-
on earnings?
You know what? Like I said, it's just my dumb idealistic wish that people would just understand what's better
just-
for people.
Look, dude,
I
it
know.
comes back to, can we just not be dicks
I know.
to each other? Like, it's as simple as that. Can we just do what's right? Can you just do what's right for people? You live a very simple life, and you don't bother people. You don't hate people. I do too.
Right.
We're little guys. We don't have much.
I would say small.
We don't bother people. We
Right.
don't fuck with people. We don't harass people. It's like it's not that hard to just not be a dick.
Right.
Let's start there. But it's like people get this idea that, oh, I have so much money, so I'm better than everybody. And then the minions go, oh my God, he must be better than us. Look how
Right.
much money he has. And I just don't believe that.
Yeah, that's why I've always said. And that's why I've joked about. And my dad's not like that at all. I don't mean it like that, but that's why I've always talked about doing this podcast with you. Where I've said to you before, especially when we're doing it 5 days a week, like in the summer and stuff. My biggest thing to me was like, if I was just going home and here, I'd have shoes in the car. I know I've told you this before, but I'd have shoes in the car. And I would just wear socks while I drove, walk in here, do the show, walk out. And like that was my little symbolic thing of like, I won. I'm going to a thing where I don't even put shoes on.
Yeah.
That was enough for me.
Yeah.
That's all I needed.
Yeah.
Not just that, but
Oh, I know what you mean.
And I wish.
We're not going to solve the world's problems.
Anyway, sorry.
here,
Like I
but-
said, I know I took you down a path that you
No,
probably
you're
didn't.
fine, dude. You're fine. It's
just-
it's understandable. It's scary. I understand it's scary for a lot of people. It's scary for me, and it all points in that direction where it's hard to find humor in anything right now for
Yeah.
me,
It is.
It just it's troubling. Netflix, they had the famous walkout with, I don't know, 8 people, whatever
Right,
it was,
right.
a dozen people over Dave Chappelle's special, The Closer. You watched it? Did you
I
ever
watched
finish
it. I
it?
never finished it. I should.
gotta finish
I
it,
know. I will at some point, I guess.
So a trans Netflix employee.
Well, I will say this: the problem I told you is, from knowing you, I don't believe he's a monster at all, and so it's like it's hard for me to I don't really necessarily need to watch it because I don't need to get the message in a way.
Yeah.
Not that I shouldn't. I'm just saying I wasn't watching. I didn't turn it off because I was like, "Fuck this guy." I just was kind of like,
this is another one of these stories that I just don't like. If you're just a normal, not insane person looking logically at something, I don't know how you take away from The Closer special.
well, they probably
anything
didn't
that
watch
those
it.
people-
Based on what you've said, they either didn't watch it at all.
Which is criminal.
I mean, or they just didn't. They
it's
still don't
criminal.
care.
Then don't have a fucking opinion on it. I wouldn't have an opinion on Bob's Burgers because I've never watched a fucking episode.
Right.
It's not fair for me to take a stance against Bob's Burgers if I've never watched an episode.
Even if they're like, you're right. But to your point, like, not even if it was funny, but like, you say an article came across your thing that said someone all of a sudden said Bob's Burgers, whatever, was against podcasts. I don't even know.
Yeah.
And then you just came on here and said Bob's Burgers, blah blah. You're right. Like you've not consumed the product. So how can you?
And context matters. You can't take a line out of a comedy special and go, he said X. Well, there's so many of these specials, and The Closer has a start, a middle, and an end, and it all kind of neatly, professionally, like only the brilliant comics on planet Earth can do. Tie this all in together into one moment,
Yeah.
and one special, all strung out, and you really need to watch all of it to get the context and the feel of it. It's an emotionally moving thing, but he's still a comic. He's still
right.
lacing in personal stuff,
Right.
And it's fabulous, and it really is a welcoming, inclusive special. And so, anyway, this Netflix employee who criticized Chappelle over his absolutely, in my opinion, not controversial TV special has resigned from the company and has dropped a labor complaint filed with a colleague. Tara Field, a senior software engineer at the tech firm, announced she had voluntarily resigned. In a letter she wrote, "This isn't how I thought things would end, but I'm relieved to have closure." Well, you brought it on yourself, Tara. I don't know what
What
to
is the
tell you.
closure that you have, by the way?
Yeah.
I honestly, I'm not trying to be mean.
You
What, I don't
left your
understand.
job. Great.
Right. What's the closure?
I don't know.
Oh, did she what she did? Was that what she was doing though? Like, I've got closure.
Yeah, maybe.
Was she doing a little?
Yeah, maybe.
I doubt it.
She also announced she and her trans colleague, B. Pagels Minor, B. Minor, are dropping their unfair labor complaint. Minor was fired for allegedly leaking the multi-million-dollar salary Chappelle earned for his special, The Closer. The pair alleged that Netflix retaliated against the workers to keep them from speaking up and working on working conditions, including Netflix's products and the impact of its product choices on the LGBTQ community. What the? Is there anyone more represented in Hollywood movie, commercial, TV, employees on staffs, Is there anyone more represented than the LGBTQ community at this point?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't.
I
Get
mean,
it.
honestly,
Right.
when I turn on the TV, that's all I see. I don't care what it is. They can be doing a fucking promotion for the Klan, and the Klan's going to have gay black people in it.
Right.
Like everything you fucking watch on TV is represented by everybody.
Yeah.
So I don't know what she's talking about, how they impact negatively on the LGBTQ community. Like, what are you talking about? You're so overrepresented
I
at
wish
this
you could.
point.
I wish these people.
silly.
Well, the problem, it's so easy because they just get to make statements and they're heroes. Like, you'd love to talk to them and have them have to answer questions.
But they won't. They'd rather picket and scream outside your business.
yeah, of course, they would just start yelling at you. But
A labor lawyer representing these two said, "My clients have resolved their differences with Netflix and will be voluntarily withdrawing their claim."
I think that's more. By the way, that sounds to me more like they realized, yeah,
Yeah.
we're not getting shit, so might as well just, you know what I mean? Like this is almost their way
Who
of.
knows?
It doesn't sound like they finally decided, yeah, we'll just peacefully voluntarily resign.
Tara Field said in her resignation letter, "I'm going to take a month to rest, recover, and consider what I want to do next. I've been working full-time since '03, and I don't think I've ever taken more than a week or two off at once, other than for medical leave." When you were getting
You want to talk to
transition
anybody?
surgery? Yeah, I don't know.
Full time? No, I mean, you want to talk to anybody that's ever had a job? She's worked full time for 18-ish years, and I don't think I've ever taken more than a week or two off other than medical. Yeah, that's called a job.
That's how most people do.
I haven't taken a week or two off. We did this show. I never took a week off.
No.
Right?
Hopefully the time will allow me to remember the things I love and miss about this work. Yeah, but you ginned this all up yourself, sweetheart. You did. You didn't have to go through any of this.
Yeah, as if they were. They're not. Were they walking around the office going, "Fuck LGBT, fuck lesbians and fuck gay people"? And I mean, what are you talking about? What was her? I wish I knew what her job was at Netflix. I'd really like, just because I'd be curious to even.
She was a senior software engineer.
I wonder what that means, though. You know what I mean? Like, is it just means she? Because I just wish, because I'd like, how is it really affecting her, dude?
Yeah, it's not. She's just hypersensitive to it. You know, the whole world revolves around Tara. We all need to take Tara's complaints seriously.
Well, that's what he said. Announced. She announced.
Yeah, of course.
Announced.
Just another chance to hop on a podium and push some agenda that
don't know if I've ever announced-
nobody gives a shit about.
Yeah.
Sorry. About 30 Netflix workers. So we needed the nation to stand down and take notice, because 30 of you clowns staged a walkout and joined a rally at Netflix offices in LA. She was suspended by the company after attending a business meeting for senior execs, but was quickly reinstated. Before her suspension, she posted a viral tweet which said the Chappelle special attacks the trans community and the very validity of transness. We have resolved, Netflix said, "We have resolved our differences in a way that acknowledges the erosion of trust on both sides, and we hope enables everyone to move on." So, yeah, what did Chappelle do that sowed such discord? Well, he asserted that gender is a fact.
Okay, I'm not even gonna.
Criticizes, and then he criticized the trans community as thin-skinned. I would think these people are proving his point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, I can't, dude. I can't. I'm sorry. I'm not.
What?
I was going to let that sit. That was from her. Those two comments, like those two bullet points.
Chappelle has courted controversy with his jokes in the closer, in which he asserts gender is a fact.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I'm so sick. I hate to say that. I'm so sick of that shit.
Yeah. Here's the reality, though, for people listening. If you want an upside to it, Netflix. Let's see. Chappelle, the closer, has scored 96% positive reviews from regular viewers on Rotten Tomatoes, just 43% from the woke critics.
Oh well.
So
Even that.
Almost
who are the
everybody.
woke critics that were okay with it, man?
yeah, right. Netflix CEO Reed Hastings told his staff he hoped the firm was on the right side of history for continuing to stream and promote Chappelle's controversial, I would say not controversial in the least, comedy special, The Closer. I do believe that our commitment to artistic expression and pleasing our members is the right long-term choice for Netflix, and that we are on the right side, but time will tell. He also noted that Chappelle is popular with viewers, citing the stickiness of his most recent special. The core strategy is to please our members. In stand-up comedy, comedians say lots of outrageous things for effect. Some people like the art form, or at least particular comedians, and others do not. Another employee claimed that the Chappelle had a history of homophobia and bigotry. We disagree with your characteristic and will continue to work with Dave Chappelle in the future. We see him as a unique voice, but can understand if you or others never want to watch his show. We do not see Dave Chappelle as harmful or in any need of any offset, which we obviously and respectfully disagree on. Yeah, I'm with him there.
He said things about white people before. Can we be upset about that
Oh,
or
he
no?
blasts white people all the time.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Can I be mad about that?
He
or no?
openly admits he hates white people in his latest special. You fuck. I don't believe it anyways.
Right.
He's a comic. Whatever. It's crazy. These people.
I don't know. I can't imagine being so self-involved. I just
Yeah.
can't. I guess if you, I didn't even, maybe I'm still at that tail end where I didn't grow up with social media my entire life, and maybe that's just the difference. Maybe if you had it your entire life.
I think these people just need to shut the fuck up. I'm sorry. I think you're doing so much more harm than you think to people.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
really believe they are. You know, there's a, and I say that because there's this transgender physicist, and she's discussing Eddie Redmayne. You know Eddie Redmayne, right? The actor.
Let me see.
You know, he played Stephen Hawking in the, what was that called? I mean, he's great. He's a brilliant actor.
I remember the movie. I don't.
The Danish Girl he was in, played a trans artist
Okay,
in the
I'm looking
Danish
at him.
Girl.
God, I still don't. I'm looking at him, but I don't.
Dude, he's like a chameleon.
Yeah, okay,
When
that's
you
fine.
see
Yeah,
him in
yeah,
movies.
yeah, that's fine.
Saying that Eddie Redmayne was right to play trans artist Lily Elbe in The Danish Girl, despite the actor saying this week that taking on the role was a mistake. He was nominated for an Academy Award, thought to be Lily Elbe, thought to be one of the first people to have sex reassignment surgery. Speaking to the Times, ahead of his role in Cabaret in the West End, where he plays MC, a gender fluid character, Redmayne said he thought The Danish Girl had the best intentions, but that with hindsight, he shouldn't have been cast in the role. However, transgender physicist and journalist Debbie Hayton, writing in The Spectator, disagreed, saying the actor was right to take on the role and compared it to him pretending to be physicist Stephen Hawking in The Theory of Everything. Was it okay for a physicist to be portrayed by someone who is not a physicist? As a trans physicist, I'd fail to see the distinction between those two films, unless an assumption is being made that trans people are somehow distinct from the rest of humanity.
Right.
We are normal human beings, much the same as everyone else, and I campaign for our right to live in a society much the same way as everyone else. At the time, critics said the role of Elbe should have been played by a trans actor, and Redmayne said this week, no, I wouldn't take it on now. I made that film with the best intentions, but I think it was a mistake. The bigger discussion about the frustrations around casting is because many people don't have a chair at the table. There must be a leveling. Otherwise, we're going to carry on having these debates. Hayton said Redmayne should ignore these voices of dissent. His performance brought Elbe to life in a way that a lesser actor or actress would have struggled to emulate. So she, for her part, Hayton, parent of 3 children, has been open about how her own transitioning hasn't been easy. If I knew in 2012 what I know now, would I still transition? Honestly, I'm not sure. At the time of Redmayne's casting The Danish Girl, there was an argument which still persists that today that LGBTQ roles should be played by the LGBT actors. I think it's an incredibly important discussion, Redmayne said. I also think it's representative of a lot of discrimination against trans people in the workplace, blah, blah, blah.
Is acting just going to become like my favorite movie, one of my favorite movies ever, you know, Back to the Future, like Christopher Lloyd, you know, he wasn't a scientist. I mean, he played a scientist in Back to the Future, though.
Dude, I'm
So
telling
do we
you,
just have to have like every role has to be like literally people that have
I just don't want to live in a society that's not merit-based on some level. Cream rises to the top. Eddie Redmayne is an exceptional actor. He's a thespian, right?
Yeah.
He is. And when he played Stephen Hawking, he looked and sounded like Stephen Hawking.
Right.
I mean, sounded in a
Well,
computer, but,
right.
but he looked, I mean, the way he acted that role was fucking incredible. And you know, the way he did in The Danish Girl, I saw that movie about the transitioning woman, you know, in the whatever long time ago it was.
2015 it looks like, by the way.
The movie, but
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
a period piece.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
He's amazing in it and really takes on that role. It was terrible when Scarlett Johansson, you know, was
Yeah.
going to play a trans character, and what was the name of that? It was
God, I can't remember. I know what you're talking about.
she had to back down from playing transgender man Dante Gill, aka Tex, who ran a string of massage parlors in the 70s and 80s that became fronts for prostitution dens in a movie that was going to be called Rub and Tug. While I would have loved the
Nice.
opportunity to bring Dante's story and transition to life, I understand why many feel he should be portrayed by a trans person. And I'm thankful that this casting debate, albeit controversial, has sparked a larger conversation about diversity and blah, blah, blah. When Johnson's casting as Gil was announced, trans actress Trace Lysette, huge name in the acting world,
Right.
Trace Lysette, wrote, "Not only do you play us, steal our narrative and our opportunity, but you pat yourselves on the back with trophies and accolades for mimicking what we have lived." Yeah, it's called acting, dipshit.
Right.
It's called acting, right?
Tom Hanks really went to the moon, right? Or
Sure.
went to space, right? I mean,
It's just, it looks like you're looking for opportunities. I'm sorry, Trace Lysette. If a movie has you on the marquee versus Scarlett Johansson, guess what?
if you were smart,
One is probably gonna be a smash fucking hit at the box office, and one is gonna be box office poison.
Well-
Trace Lysette, can you guess which one?
and forget even the money, by the way. If she was like actually cared about the cause, at least in my opinion, and I'm not a trans person, but she's obviously, oh, I'm outraged. There should be, but really, if you thought about it on like a more deeper level, not forget even the money that it'll make. A movie like that with Scarlett Johansson is going to make people see things in a different way, possibly.
Yeah,
People are
100%.
never going to go see her. They'll go see Scarlett Johansson, and somebody, if you really just cared about the cause and not just being a virtue signal person,
Yeah.
if one person walks out of that movie that Scarlett Johansson does that would never have seen this trick and goes, you know what? Okay, I should I've thought about this a little differently.
100%.
That's what it should be.
I mean, there's a reason you cast these big name
If you want to have
celebrities in these movies because they can carry that load, and
Yeah.
they can portray those roles that open up so many more opportunities and so many more storylines for it's like it's the whole Apu thing.
right.
It's like here you have an Indian represented in a cartoon. Yeah, did some people go, "Thank you, come again," whenever they saw an Indian kid in school? Okay, whatever, sure. But here you had this positive role model, probably the most positive role model in Springfield.
Yeah.
I mean, the hardest working guy in Springfield,
right.
raising his family
Owns
with
a
his
business,
wife,
right.
owns a business that he started himself. Like, here's this great message for immigrants in the country. and
Yeah.
different religion, but everybody loved Apu. Now, blow him out because he's voiced by, one of the most brilliant voice comics of our time, but blow him out.
Now, maybe if you want, if her argument was, by the way, Scarlett Johansson situation, like you should have a real trans person as like a on set as like a consultant to like maybe I'm just but okay
Yeah.
but to bring the actual message, if her only reasoning was we need to get the message
you're
out,
probably right. You're probably right
maybe
with
as a
that.
consultant, just kind of, hey man, this is what I've gone through in my life or this or that, whatever. Okay, I can see that.
Yeah.
Go give her some motivation, quote unquote.
Kind of
and-
like they do when they do a cop drama and they'll have a
Exactly.
detective on the
would
like we
make
would
sense.
never do it that way. I there's nothing that drives me more nuts than when I watch a movie that focuses on music and you can tell that the drummer's never picked up a pair of drumsticks,
Yeah.
or the guitarist isn't playing real chords,
Right.
and really looks like shit. Like it leaps off the screen to me and it drives me nuts. It takes me right out of it.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you've got people there going, no, this is a G chord, this is a C chord, this is a D chord. Learn these couple chords, and we can at least fake this.
Or like, or even as a consultant, like honestly, God, if their goal was really, I want to show people that we're just like regular people. I want this to be, like as a consultant, you could go, how actors, will get in. I forget what the term I'm trying to think of is like, but they'll get into character, like Jim Carrey. I forget what the fucking terminology right now. I can't think of it right now. Method actors, go around a month and live with someone a little bit, see what they go through, maybe see the hate that might come their way, and then you get Scarlett Johansson and put in that movie, and now, like I said, people walk out there. You get a few people walk out, go, oh shit, okay. That'd be different. And if that was her point, I could get on board. If she was like, look there's not one person on this set they had even like trying to explain it. She's just doing it for, her own selfish reasons. That'd be a little more respectable.
Yeah,
But it's not, by the way, because that's not really what it's about, right?
well, you just took two projects off the table and many future projects. I mean, Hollywood directors are going to try. If actually, I welcome this. Don't have Scarlett Johansson,
Yeah.
or some A-list actress. Don't have them. Make sure you get. Let's do this. Let's do an example. Let's try this with Trace Lysette, and see how much of a blockbuster you have on your hands.
Right.
See how much those fake, fraudulent pieces of shit corporate executives in Hollywood get behind this for the cause.
Right.
Yeah, let's sell Trace Lysette. Starring, ladies and gentlemen, coming to a theater near you, starring Trace Lysette. It's a rags to riches tale. Like, no one's buying it.
Yeah.
And Trace Lysette probably blows as an actor. Otherwise, we'd probably know her.
Actor, actress, we don't know, but
Yeah, I don't know what
they, them.
fuck it is. Who knows what it is, but
You know what? I swear to God, the they them thing. I finally got caught up in a situation where I literally for a split second didn't understand, and it was Demi Lovato. I think has come out recently and said she's done, dating humans. She only wants to date, like extraterrestrials or something. But in the article it says they said they were, and I read it. I'm not trying to do that, but I read it a few times like they said, and I was like, oh shit, this is one of those they thems. I haven't seen it in that context yet, and I was like, because it just kept saying they said they're done with this, and I'm like, why is it they? But it's a picture of her.
yeah, I've been burned by that a couple times too.
And I was like, oh shit.
I've been burned by that a couple
She
times.
means Demi Lovato. She says she's done, not they're done.
Yeah,
I don't understand why they them is such a big deal, but
I don't.
I can understand if you're a trans person and you're like, if you say, hey, sorry, but I'm actually Jenna, whatever, whatever. Okay, you explain it, but they them, I don't understand it.
Yeah, I don't either. The pronouns, the G and Z, and I don't get any of it. Someone does. I'm not going to play your games, though. I'm just not. Sorry. I'll be the unwokest of the unwoke. Oh, anyway. All right, E. What are you doing for Thanksgiving?
Family shit.
Yeah.
I guess.
You see that hot sister of yours?
Yeah, she'll be over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doing that. Some
Give her my best.
Some pet sitting for a final time.
Okay.
And so I got that.
Very
I
good.
think, yeah, that's about it. Oh, I'm going up to. I'm actually pretty excited. I'm going to Holland to see some friends I hadn't seen in a while. So I got
Do
that.
you go to, what is it, Zenders or?
That's Christmas. Although I don't think we'll
that's
go
Christmas.
this year. I don't think we'll go this year.
Why?
Because I'm leaving a few days after that, and I think
Oh,
that they
yeah.
would probably rather just be at the house instead of spending a bunch of time. I don't think we'll want to spend a bunch of hours driving up there, and I don't think so. So I think that'll be it. But
what were you saying? You're going to go?
going up to Holland too to see some friends that I used to work with when I was at Holland at that radio
Oh,
job.
I remember them.
Yeah, Pedro. Jay used to know
Yeah.
about Pedro because they listen. They made the famous tie-dye Detroit Cash shirt I've worn around for a while. and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. Yeah,
So I'm going to see it.
Neat guys.
Good shit.
Say hello for us.
I will.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
will.
All right, let's
Thought
get
you were
out
gonna-
of here.
Oh, never mind.
What? You thought I was going to what?
Nothing. You know what? I'm not going to say it. Sorry.
Why?
Nothing. I don't want to be corny because if I thought you were going to do are you thankful for anything? Okay, you're not going down. That's good. That's good.
I'm thankful for people that use the Amazon link.
There you go.
My Pillow.
There you go.
I'll leave the other plugs, but please continue using those, especially during the holiday season. It's, hopefully, keep us going for a little bit. But have a great Thanksgiving, E.
Thank you. It's actually my favorite
I
holiday.
am. It's mine too, and I'm very thankful to have done the last few weeks with you. It's been a lot of fun. We still got a few weeks before you leave, so.
Oh, I know, and that's why I didn't want to talk about it. I don't want to get down that route because I'm thankful for many, many things.
I know
So.
you are. I'm thankful to be sitting here behind a microphone right now. So
As am
it's-
I.
Yeah, it's exciting. More exciting stuff to come. So anyway, have a great Thanksgiving, everybody. Spend it with your loved ones, and we'll see you next week. There's no one available to do a show with me, so E's gone, T's gone. Trav's got his family, so we'll pick it up next week and have a great start to the holiday. Go Lions!
You know what? I'm actually cheering for Michigan finally. If they're good, they have a chance to win. So now I'm on board. Now I'm on board.
Yeah, I think Michigan's
I'm a bandwagon. I'm such a
I think they're a
bandwagon fan,
fraud,
though.
dude.
Oh, I do too.
I'm sorry, I just do.
I do too.
I don't think they're legit.
But at least you could
hey,
argue there's a chance. So there's a reason
You
to
know
watch.
I'm rooting for them.
But there's a reason to watch that game. There's not a reason to watch the Lions game. Don't watch the Lions game. Do yourself a favor.
I'll watch the Lions game just because that's what I do. But,
Yeah.
I was asking Troy last night, do you think at some point they take this game away from the Lions And he's like, I don't
hope
know.
not. I really
Historically,
do.
I don't know. I said, dude, can you imagine if they forced us to watch the fucking Bengals every year on Thanksgiving? At what point would we be going, get this garbage off our TV? Why are you giving them a national game?
But it's our
I don't want to
thing.
watch the fucking Bengals.
I know.
The Lions are worse than the Bengals.
But it is our
And I don't
thing.
mean the Bengals this year with Joe Burrow or whatever. I mean
Yeah.
historically the Bengals. And the Bengals have been to 2 Super Bowls.
Right.
Lost twice to my Niners, but still.
Well, nonetheless.
The Lions are so fucking bad
I know.
and so not really watchable. I feel bad for the rest of the country.
I know. It's like,
I-
well, like
I
it's at
honestly
noon, and
do.
most of the country isn't even. They don't even care. At
I
noon
feel
yet.
bad. I just feel bad for the country that has to watch this team. I do. It's
Yeah.
like we've been bad for 60 years.
Right.
For 60 years.
Yeah.
At some point, to me,
You know what's funny?
If you shove the Bengals down my face every year, I'd be like, oh my God, fuck this league. The rest of the country has to be saying that.
I'm gonna. We're good going here, but I do want to say this in the end. Once you did, it's funny how like sports, you don't realize like what other states get, what do they get out of things. And I know you're to California all the time, so this is not a big deal for you. But the first time I went out to the Jacks, I'd never been there. You know, I went out to the bar by myself one night, and at the time, the Golden State was about to set like the single season record, I think.
Yeah.
And I was at the bar talking to the guy, and I was like, I'm from Michigan, this and that. He goes, oh, really? I was like, it's like, I fucking hope you guys smash the Bulls thing. And he goes, really? Blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, we fucking hate Chicago. And the trade goes, really? Blah, blah, blah. And it was just so interesting because in sports, you don't always know. He had no idea that the bad boy thing hadn't been on ESPN yet, I don't think, and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And as a sports fan, he's a sports fan. And he's sitting there and he's like, wow, I didn't realize Detroit hated Chicago. Like, oh yeah, fuck that guy. And it's like, it was just so interesting because he had no fucking clue. And
Yeah,
so you don't know.
It's funny when I talk to my dad, who was born in San Francisco
Right.
and grew up there his whole life. Like those people that are native Californians,
Yeah.
they fucking hate LA. Like the chants in the crowd when it's just like the Warriors with the Lakers.
Yeah.
It's beat LA. Beat like that's all they want to do is
Right.
beat each other. The Dodgers, Giants, they fucking hate each other.
That's so funny, man.
And yeah, it's wild, but
Well,
it's
I
kind
saw-
of like us with Chicago or Ohio.
Well, I saw this thing. God, I know we were about to run it in here, but I saw this thing, a really cool show too, one time called like how the 50 states got their shapes, and it's like it's like a whole series of, and it goes through each state of how the lines are drawn, right, and how they could have been
Was it for
different.
racist reasons?
No. A lot of it was like, no. Well, well, some probably, but you know what I mean. But anyway, and it's like, you think that like, we talk about our country being divided and this, and it's like, and he was going through these states and he's like, even when you just go to individual states as humans, it's like in Maine, they're like, oh yeah, the upper Mainers hate the lower Mainers. They're like, you're
Yeah.
not really in Maine.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then they're like, we're up here in real Maine. You're just down there in bullshit. And
that wild?
and so even in like our own little states, like in California, the difference between LA and fucking Northern California and shit
Yeah.
like that, you know what I mean?
Oh, they
like
hate each other.
Right. They're fucking those liberal motherfuckers.
NorCal versus SoCal.
Right. And it's like, forget the big country, even our little
Yeah.
states, you'll get these things.
Do we
where,
have that in Michigan?
oh yeah, fuck yeah.
You think so? Like Yoopers hate
They
the,
don't want to be. Oh yeah, how many times they're trying to? Like,
They
oh,
don't
you shouldn't-
hate the people down south.
They don't. They don't want it to be. They try to get. Some of them legit think they shouldn't be a part of the state. Like we should secede and be our own. And how are we going to get any money, idiots? Where are you going to get the money from? We give
Wisconsin.
you the money.
Yeah.
Well, they'd have to join Wisconsin though.
Yeah, they don't want to do that.
But so even in this state, up in the UP, man. Even
yeah,
up
but I
there.
feel like that's just like a sibling thing.
Yeah.
You're there more than I am. I don't know.
There's
I don't know
people
for
up there
sure,
that
but-
feel that. Not
Yeah.
not all of them, but there are people that are like, fuck that place. That's
Yeah.
down there.
But I don't feel like that on the west side of the state where you go west and it's
Yeah,
like
even then they go
hang out at
Detroit.
Lake Michigan and they're like
No,
Detroit,
then they
man.
got Detroit. Detroit, big city.
Yeah, but
Detroit.
everybody says that about Detroit.
I don't know. I'm just saying, it's just funny because that's what I found through watching that show is every state that he went to, there was different examples of like, yeah, some of these people,
Yeah.
they're in the same state.
I'd like
but
to read that. Was it a book?
It was
you
a
had?
show, dude. It was on the
was a
History
show.
Channel. It was really good, man.
Oh yeah, was it multi-episodes?
Yeah, it was really
Is it
interesting.
still there?
Actually.
I wouldn't
probably
mind checking that out.
Probably somewhere. Yeah, I don't know how you. I'll look into it for you and see if I
Yeah,
can find
yeah,
it.
see
But it
if you
was
can
really
find it.
interesting.
All right, Isis. Let's
Okay.
get out of here. Thank you for joining me. Have a great Thanksgiving. Give my best
same to you.
to your family. Thank you.
Right back at you.
Thank you, buddy.
Patricia. I'm thankful for Patricia this year. I know no one
I know,
knows
my
that.
mom,
No
yeah.
one knows too much about that, but your mom's come through big for me
Dude,
this year too.
you've talked to my mom more than I have in the last
I know.
3
I
months.
call and text her or something.
I
mean,
know.
I'm on a regular basis with your mom now.
Dude, I've like called her and she hasn't answered the phone and she'll call me back 20 minutes later and be like, sorry, I was on the phone with E. I'm like, what?
I know.
Fuck. Blow him off when I call you.
I know.
Hang up on him.
Well, she's
He's
helping
like,
me
"No."
out.
I know. It's great. It's a
What
great relationship. you
what
got
an
going.
underground tease.
Yeah.
What could Mike's mom be helping me out with? Who
Yeah,
knows?
right?
Could be anything.
No, it's not fucking dirty shit, you creeps, monsters. Thankful for all of you, too. All right. Have a good one. We'll be back next week.